Hey Chris, so I finally was able to finish day 4 of week 4. Yeah, I believe it's week 4. Yeah, week 4 of my peaking block. And up until day 4 and up until really I got sick, it was going all right. Um, still having a bit of trouble finding my groove on squat, but that doesn't mean that it was moving badly or anything along those lines. Still moved pretty well, and felt a bit awkward, but slowly I'm getting more consistent, and I'm working towards finding repeatable cues and things like that. So still not bad. Just again trying to make myself be as 100% consistent over the long term as possible. Um, Bench still going awesome. Definitely loving this wider grip. Definitely loving this whole, pressing towards my face really nicely and everything like that. Again, I just need to continue to remind myself to do this repeatedly over the long term. So, uh, in that regard, I'm still doing the same thing that I'm doing on squat, where I'm uh, trying to find, repeatable, long-term, careful cues. So the main one, of course, that I've been talking about for a while that I'm still focusing on mainly is just upper back tightness throughout the whole lift. Definitely as I move on, I want to um, improve this my consistency to incorporate other cues like pressing with my legs and flexing at my glutes and flaring my elbows at the right time and consistent bar path, but I'm doing this sort of one step at a time. But going great, definitely going great overall. Even these like really sets that I was pretty scared about, like 215 for 4x4 and especially 210 for 4 sets of 5, stuff that I wouldn't be able to picture myself doing except for recently, I was surprised not only that I was able to complete it, but at how really surprisingly easy they were. So definitely really happy with that on bench. Um, let's see. So deadlift. I'm having a lot of consistency issues with deadlift where I'm sort of, I guess, reverting back to how I pulled more or less. I mean, it's nowhere near as bad as when I first started out training with you, but I'm having trouble maintaining that really nice technique that you saw a couple weeks ago. So um, this is something that I was talking to someone at the gym about today, and he was helping me with some repeatable cues that I can do to set myself up exactly correctly every time. And those helped me a lot. And it's what I'm going to focus on from here on out, where I sort of I think it was a 4 step thing. I breathe in, I pull my shoulders back, I set my hips, then I pull the slack out of the bar, then I pull. And as long as I do as long as I do the countdown from step 1 to step 4 reliably every time, I know that I should be um, in a really good position every single time. So that's definitely something that I'm going to focus very much on in the future. And I will say that the difference between when I do it right and when I do it wrong is unbelievable, not only in comfort, in speed, and but also of course, in ease of lift. So, with that in mind, I should say that unfortunately, day 4 on deadlifts went completely terribly, unfortunately. So I hit my single at 8 pretty easily. I went for a pretty conservative attempt because, um, as I should remind you, I was sick over the weekend, delayed my day 4 until Monday, and I felt sleepy coming into day 4. I didn't sleep well the night before, but I didn't really feel sick anymore. So, and I was eager to get back into the gym. So I felt like it was a good time, but I don't know if the sickness really affected me or if it was just because I was really inconsistent, but I guess I should just give you the story as to what happened today. So I hit my single at 8 pretty easily, 440. It was a pretty conservative shot. Then I said that was pretty easy. I'll go for 460 for my single at 9. So that would be my second attempt in a competition. Um, and I couldn't even finish the lift. Now, this was, I'm pretty sure it was just because my technique was looking pretty bad on that lift. Where this was before I worked out this step, this this consistent system with my friend at the gym. So my hips, I could feel it. After failing the lift, I knew exactly what happened. Where my hips were too high, I probably didn't get my shoulders back as far as I needed to. And I definitely wasn't, and I did not pull the slack out of the bar at all. That's something I was actually having trouble with today. Um, so I missed the rep, and I tried a couple more times at it. It wasn't going anywhere, and I realized it was because the way I missed the rep caused some stress on my lower back that was preventing me from really doing anything significant for the rest of the day on deadlifts, unfortunately. So with that in mind, I knew it was unlikely I would be able to complete my four singles at 435. So I just backed it down to 405 and did some, I guess you could say, practice singles with the new sort of repeatable system that my friend came up with. So um, they still move pretty slow, and again, I attribute this mostly to my lower back feeling pretty crappy. Um, so it's unfortunate that this happened, but maybe it'll turn out to be a good thing. Maybe it'll turn out that my deadlifts will turn out to be much more consistent as a result. That's what I'm hoping for. And you'll notice in the videos, two of my deadlift videos are just singles with 405, and you'll notice they were pretty slow. That's because my lower back wasn't feeling good, and especially pulling the slack out of the bar is the thing I struggle with the most, I think, and something that I was sort of missing that I didn't realize I wasn't doing very well. Because what I typically do is I pull the slack out of the bar, at least I think I do, when I put my shoulders back. But as it turns out, there's yet more slack to pull. So getting that additional slack out is something that I previously wasn't doing and that I'm still getting used to doing since I really just started doing it today. So, with all that in mind, unfortunately my session didn't go well today as far as deadlifts. Bench, it went great, and everything after that went great. But Um, with that in mind, if you need me to adjust anything to sort of make up for the fact that I didn't really complete my deadlift peaking, then certainly I will adjust. But if you want for me to just continue, then I'm okay. Just continue as if I finished the day properly, then I'm totally okay with that as well. Of course, just let me know what I should do. Um, let's see, was there anything else to really mention? Um, I don't think so. I mean, I guess I should say that I know that making, I guess, significant changes to technique isn't best done like now in a peaking block, but um, I think it's necessary that I at least recognize what I do have to change at least before I move on to the next cycle. Um, so yeah, I know I'm kind of rambling about this. If you want me to maybe type up a pretty succinct uh, idea of what I'm trying to say about my deadlifts, I can totally do that for you. Um, but from I should say I'm looking forward to how my deadlift might turn out when I get a chance to sort of restart, and especially like you said, build up some momentum. In my lifts in general, getting sick kind of blew away any momentum I had, especially at this point, was kind of bad. So I should say I'm looking forward to the next block, but I'm also looking forward to setting some PRs on squat and bench, and at least a small, um, not small lifetime PR on deadlift, but a small recent PR, because the heaviest thing I've ever pulled recently was 455 a while ago, and I'm hoping to get something a little bit heavier. And I definitely know I can. I know the strength is there. It's just a matter of whether or not I can display it properly when the time comes. And I'm pretty confident that I'll set at least a 5 pound PR on that, if not more. Um. Anyways, I'm rambling now. Um. Oh right. So just how I felt overall throughout the week. Yeah, I've been sleeping a little bit better. Could have been better, could have been worse, but wasn't terrible. Of course, I got sick, and you know all about that, and that kind of got in the way. But feeling a lot better now, and I'm looking forward to the coming sessions. So with that in mind, well, I guess I'll just leave you at that, Chris. See you later.